You always want to do something bigger and better that is unique.
Watch out!
Underneath every nice guy, he wants to go and be creepy and be nasty.
They live in the moment. They have no consequences. They have no remorse. They have no fear of what happens if they do something. Wouldn't it be great to live like that?
The main attraction to monsters, creatures, the dark side of evil is that because it's fantasy and because it doesn't exist, the fact that you can physically put it in front of somebody and bring something to life that is not real, as soon as the actor puts the personality behind the look, it becomes real.
Balthazar, we meet at last.
I love playing bad guys. It's a great emotional release as well. Because in real life, I can't do those. I did that, I'd be in jail. I have some of that in me. I have that bad boy in me. I don't really show it that often.
The whole purpose of every demon, in a sense, has to do with fear. My character, Barbas, his way of making use of the fear was just to let the fear do its own thing. But the other demons were also using fear. They were trying to create a new fear. And so those characters needed to be physically frightening in order to create a fear.
A lot of times in the room, we don't know what they're gonna look like. You know, you write a monstrous demon with horns or a tattoo, and that's where the creative process of the makeup people and the special effects people come in. You can give them kind of an idea and a general direction of what you want, but you know, they're part of the team and their ideas come into play as well.
They would come up with the concept of what this demon was and the personality traits. That would give me enough to kind of give me a starting point to come up with the design and again, try to come up with something that was different every time. A lot of times people really have no idea what to expect and they don't really know what it is you're going to be showing up with. So the fun and the thrill of showing up either as the character or as putting an actor in the makeup, the response that you get from the crew and the actors when they come up and they see this, it energizes people and it helps the actors get to a point that they might not otherwise get to if it was just a guy standing there delivering lines. It made you feel really good because you got an emotional response from people just by putting rubber on someone's face.
Upper-level demon who likes to kill witches using an athame, sometimes energy balls. His name is Balthazar.
Balthazar was, I don't think, one that we had a particular vision of exactly what he was going to look like, other than he had to be monstrous and completely different looking than Cole, because, you know, the character is pretty much envisioned as, you know, it's the Hulk side of Cole.
They wanted someone that was big and had, you know, a big stature and a lot of presence. Just standing there, it just meant power. And when they told me I was going to play Balthazar, before I even got into the wardrobe or anything, I had went over to Todd's makeup effects house. Normally when they do makeup effects, they always do drawings or some kind of claymation type of images before they do that to get studio approved. There was 2 pieces on my ears and then 1 on my forehead, and I think that was it. The rest of it's me. And of course the eyes and the fingernails.
We'll finish this later.
There was one particular episode where I got kind of busted up a little bit. It was an episode where they had an alter ego of Balthazar, so we had this big battle. And I got hurt because there's a spot where he slams me on top of this table and he puts me in this chokehold. Well, the dude was like really choking me. And we kept going, and you know, as an actor, you never call cut like in the middle of a scene. You know, you just don't do that. You wait for them. And I was ready to go out. He's actually really tearing my neck off. It seemed like it. So it got a little crazy.
They wanted a character that had absolutely no facial features. They wanted him just to be a blank slate. They didn't want eyes, mouth, nose, anything. And I was trying to figure out how am I going to make that work as a makeup, because you have to basically cover all of the areas that you would breathe from. I created a mask that I sculpted on myself, and I created a little channel that went from my mouth and underneath my chin to right under here that you would breathe through. Now, the only problem with that is that as soon as you start breathing heavily, it would suck the mask onto your face and you are no longer able to breathe. And really what it came down to was I just had to hold my breath. Get calmed down, and they'd say, "Are you ready to go?" "I'm ready to go, here we go." And action, do my stuff, and then calm down again and get my breath back. So all they had to do was make sure that I didn't pass out or die. It was definitely one of the more challenging characters to play simply because of the breathing aspect of it. But the design of it to have no features and just be completely skin all the way down, it was just a cool look that it was worth it to kind of put myself in that situation to make it look that way.
We did not know what the source was going to look like. It was a big dramatic moment. I remember the day in the room where, it's like Brad's like, well, maybe his hood falls down and we see his face and it's horribly disfigured. And you see what the makeup people came up with. And in that particular case, they did a great job of, rendering some guy who was scary enough, but also had a bit of humanity underneath that made him a formidable enemy.